Hi everyone, my name's Jamie and this is David, and today we want to talk about our district technology vision and about our student Chromebook program. We're going to walk you through the instructional background, reach goals for students, and our funding model. We also want to share some of our reflections from the last 2 years, both in terms of the parent and tech team experience and what we've learned. But to get started, we want to give you a brief history of our vision. So we founded this program on our district mission statement. I examined the needs of the students and really set a purpose for this work. I focused on this statement: we're a learning community committed to personal growth and academic excellence. Of course, I had to add a technological update, a mission statement 2.0, so to speak. I wanted our program to be rooted in our core beliefs as a district. So here's my take. We're a learning community, but with technology, our borders expand beyond a single classroom, school, or district to join a community of learners from anywhere in the world. The commitment to personal growth stands stronger than ever. We need to prepare our youngest and oldest learners to navigate the new world they explore every day. We do this with lessons on digital citizenship in the physical and digital world. Finally, our definition of academic excellence is demonstrated by critical and creative thinking, propelled by students who are active in their learning, becoming more than consumers, but creators. While I think that sounds really nice, we needed to get more specific about what we were offering our students. We needed to do more. Why did we need more technology in classrooms? Kids have computers at home. They have time in the computer lab. So here's my take on why. We want our students to have access to challenging lessons. We want them to really acquire new skills. We want them to show and demonstrate responsibility in person and online. And we want them to explore the application of concepts that they're learning in class. And lastly, it's really about experimenting to solve new problems. During my time at the high school teaching English, I offered projects with a menu of choices for my students to demonstrate their mastery on the content I taught. Students could choose to make a movie, write an essay, create an original score, produce some sort of physical representation, and so on. I noticed that some students developed talents with technology while others labeled themselves as not being able to do so. I saw this Chromebook program as a way to offer more opportunities for students to develop technology skills. And also I wanted them to display responsibility. I wanted to provide lessons that went beyond the standard so students could leverage tech for exploring and experimenting. So now we find ourselves at the end of our second full year with the Chromebook program. Certain grade levels have been bringing a device to school every day. Like everything in the tech world, updates and upgrades march on. We're excited to update and upgrade the instructional backbone and purpose of this program. So like the image you see here, the light is still the result, but efficiencies and brightness have improved. I want those same ideas for our students. Our evolutions must add a functional improvement. To act as our guide for implementing those improvements to our students' technological experience, we've adopted the International Society for Technology and Education, or ISTE, standards for students. We want to give you a brief introduction to what we're bringing to the classroom in the coming years.
Now, there are 7 standards, which you see up in the top right corner here. There are 7. The first one is called Empowered Learner. Technology gives students the ability to customize their learning. They can research and find information from sources beyond their textbooks. They can show what they're learning in new ways beyond simply pencil and paper. And they can demonstrate to their teachers what they're learning to give the teacher an even greater detail about their progress. The next one, Digital Citizen. Digital citizenship is an area that we're really investing in here in La Cañada. We want our students to not only know how to use the technology, but how to use it in positive, productive, and responsible ways. That's why we have a digital citizenship program with lessons in all grades, focusing on fair use, building positive cyber relationships, and learning how to evaluate digital sources. The third standard is Knowledge Constructor. Research looks different now, and we're committed to teaching our students how to find credible, engaging facts, figures, and phenomena about our world and put them together in new ways. As students are constructing knowledge in these new ways, the work in classrooms and for homework might look a little bit different. Again, this is a stretch goal for us, and our teachers and students are already starting to work on this standard. Innovative designer. When most of us think of design, we might think visual art. But design at its core is about finding innovative solutions to everyday problems. Using a model out of Stanford University called the Design Thinking Model, we want our students in all classes to be able to identify problems, empathize with a given audience, design, test, retest, all these solutions and be able to see how their work can benefit the world at large. The next one, computational thinker. Technology gives us tools to solve problems in new ways. And when faced with a difficult learning activity, we want our students to be able to see the big picture and then think logically and systematically to reach a conclusion. Do we want our kids to think like computers? No. But we do want them to be able to capitalize on the power that computers have and to use formal strategies to solve problems on their own. The next one, creative communicator. Since we're talking about all this technology, we don't want anyone to think that we're neglecting the goal of building strong communication skills in our young learners. That's something our students already excel in, and it's something we want to continue to build upon. In fact, technology gives our students opportunity to be more creative in expressing themselves, whether through art or music or video production. But our students are also learning new skills in graphic design, data visualization, and creating more dynamic presentations in front of audiences. The communication skills are the most important part here, while the technology enhances what our students are capable of. Now, finally, the seventh standard is global collaborator. Our classrooms are becoming hives of collaboration. It's really fun to watch. And students are learning how to properly work closely in teams, balance workloads and workflows, and offer creative criticism and learn from each other as well. New technology tools are making this process even easier, and we're seeing teachers take advantage of these tools for collaborative projects all the time. Some of our classrooms participate in video conferencing with students in other states as they learn about the culture and geography of the other children. And other classrooms have virtual career days with authors or other experts. We're really excited to see where this leads here in La Cañada. Now, time for a quiz. Think about the following questions and whether or not you engage in the following actions. 1, do you have a plan in your work or whatever you do to keep yourself occupied during the day? Do you have a plan of how to leverage technology to reach your personal learning goals? Do you have an understanding of how you best learn? Do you actively seek feedback to improve? Do you have a basic understanding of troubleshooting technology? We'll count knowing how to power off and power back on or refreshing a page. We'll count that as a yes. Even more specifically, have you ever had to sit through a really bad PowerPoint presentation? We're working to teach our students how to be dynamic presenters. Have you ever had someone forward you headlines or Facebook posts that are clearly wrong? We're teaching our students how to watch out for those. Have you, in your work, ever had to work on a project with someone else who you've never met in another office, in another state, or in another country? Our students are building those skills now, starting in elementary school.
Thanks. So we want to talk a little bit specifically about our program and how we're going to make this happen. So what we've done is asked to have Chromebooks in the classrooms for all the students. So you may be asking, why did you start with a Chromebook? So for us, it was really an affordable way to get the devices in the classroom. And we were skeptical. How could a device that only has internet access really compete with some of the more powerful machines that are on the market? What we found is that the Chromebook simplicity is actually its biggest selling point. It boots up in seconds. 99% of the issues are fixed with a restart. And if you answered yes on that pop quiz, you are now a Chromebook master. Updates take 2 minutes, if that. Students all have the same applications, and it's like really having the same translation of a novel. It's a great device for the classroom because students aren't losing instructional time that we see with other devices. So while, and also within the Chrome operating system, we have a management tool, so we can push out the wireless settings if we ever have to make a change. We have classroom management software. So what we're seeing is that students and teachers are finding really creative ways to work within the limits of this device, and they're producing incredibly creative projects. We've also seen some of the next generation Chromebooks coming out, and those features are pretty awesome. We're seeing things like flip screens and a world-facing camera. So the benefits of the tablet are now coming to the Chromebook. We're very open-minded, of course. We understand we need to assess this program often, so we're really looking at it in 2-year cycles and making adjustments. We know that tech changes very quickly, and just as the Chromebooks were off almost everyone's radar just a few years ago, we'll be ready for the next laptop iteration. For now, though, the Chromebooks are giving us a really great foundation to build upon. One other thing I want to tell you about is the way we've structured our environment for the kids. We call it our walled garden. So what we do is we want students to practice on creating, exploring, experimenting that I talked about earlier. And we're doing this by building a really safe ecosystem for them. We want them to have a world where they can make mistakes and learn from them. It's far safer to make mistakes in elementary school and high school than the real world. For example, I often tell the story about a student who forgot to log out of her computer. Another student came along and deleted everything that student had built in terms of files and schoolwork. Because we have everything backed up, we were able to restore it. And now we have a really powerful lesson on the importance of logging out of your machine. So again, it's a safe way that even if mistakes are made, we can help the students. So we want them to have those stumbles and learn from them. We want them to be creative problem solvers. We want them to be leaders, and we want them to be ready for a world that we quite don't know what it's going to be yet. So let me tell you the hard part. This is our funding model. So I'd love for you to, in your head, imagine the sad puppy Sarah McLachlan music. So parents and families, we need your support. To be serious though, this program only works because of your commitment to our instructional vision. We're asking families to send a Chromebook to school with their student. So while my dream would be that we would have enough to put in every single classroom and this wouldn't be what I'm talking to you about right now, that's not our reality. I've seen creative funding models where schools use bonds to purchase their devices, but again, that doesn't last forever. We're looking for something that we can count on. Teachers are making incredible changes to their instructional practice because they have access to these devices. If I propose something that could change in the future, there'd be less adoption rates. We'd see that change. So right now, Chromebooks are relatively affordable. If you consider the cost at $125 to $150 a year for a 2-year lifespan on this device, and then let's say you buy the accidental insurance at $38, while that adds cost, it adds peace of mind. I want to assure you it's really not a warranty scam. I never buy the extended warranties, but this is money well spent. You'll actually get a repaired device, a replacement, or a check. So, thinking back to our funding model, if the majority of the parents send a Chromebook to school, we cover the gap for those who cannot afford a Chromebook or choose not to participate. And a huge shout out to the first year parents who supported this program with an 88% rate. And then last year's group, it was 91%. So we've seen tremendous support, and I just want to thank you for that. So in closing up, the next steps of this program, we're working right now to update our vendor websites. So we've partnered with a couple companies who are building web stores for you, and they're going to give you educational pricing. But more than that, they're actually giving you educational models. There are differences from what you can buy on Amazon or in stores compared to what we get on these websites. So we want you to have both options. So we'll have that live in the next couple weeks. So again, you're welcome to purchase something from anywhere, and so we're going to give you the basic specs to think about. Most of the models of the Chromebooks are coming with 4 gigs of RAM. You're going to start to see some 8 gigs of RAM models. Again, price will go up a little bit with those. Hard drive space is fine at about 16 gigs. You're going to see some at 32 now. But what I'd want to tell you is if you are choosing between hard drive space or RAM, definitely pick RAM. That's where we're seeing the performance improvements. And also look at battery life. Most you're going to see are about 9 to 13 hours, which is, again, a huge benefit for the Chromebook. The fact that these devices can last all day for the kids is amazing. If you find something that you are interested in buying, but you're not sure it meets the specs, just send me an email and I'll let you know. I'll check things like processor and weight and make sure it's the right device. I will be sending an email soon with a follow-up about the web store and a link to the insurance. So I want to introduce you to one other team member, Lindsay Staley. She works at our high school. She's in the classroom every day with our students, making amazing things happen, supporting them. So what I want you to really think about is that you have our contact info now. You know what we believe in and why we think this program is important. But we want you also to know that we're committed. We're all in the classroom working with our students and teachers, and we're helping them experience the innovation and also the challenges that come with this. So please know that even though there are hard days when screens break, or your kid tells you they have 4 hours homework and it was really just 20 and they were doing something else the whole time. That's why we're here. We need to provide these experiences. We need to work through these things together before kids are going off to college and doing this on their own. So those stumbles and gains that come through this they're both equally important. We need to learn from that. So we want you to just reach out with any questions you have. More information will be coming, and we just really appreciate your support so far.